Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to be continuing my Tears of the Kingdom playthrough. In the last episode we unlocked Riju, which now we can use her lightning ability whenever we want to. We also had kind of done some of the main storyline at the Lookout Landing, and now we're here in the Hyrule Castle, which we're currently looking for Zelda, which last episode I made a sarcastic comment about that being the real Zelda because it is for sure a trap. Oh wow, there's a bunch of enemies in here. You'll want to be prepared for these. Okay. I'm gonna freeze the big one, I guess. Ooh, here we go. I have an idea. There we go. The lightning ability is really powerful as it does a lot of damage. Alright, now we just gotta keep on fighting these enemies. I'm gonna use that lightning ability again. I need to get a new weapon equipped, or else I'm not gonna be able to fight these enemies. We're basically gonna be doing this, but throughout the entire castle. And it's just this enemy left. It's pretty easy when you have all the sages just smacking down on him. And it's almost gone. Alright, now that we've defeated him, we get his horn. And now, there's a new location on our map. We're literally going to be just going throughout the entire castle on this episode, trying to chase down Zelda. Royal Halberd. This one's a pretty good weapon. Well, for being a spear. The best spear in this game would be the, one of the Zora spears. I think it's the, Light Scale Trident. Yeah, it's that one. When the player goes in water, it'll do more damage. I think I've already mentioned the Zora weapons, but it's one of those, basically. Basically, they just want you to go through the entire castle. Although there's a lot of treasure around here. Ooh. Off camera, I got some more inventory slots, so that's why I have more than from the last episode. The enemies, you can choose to fight them or you can just run away. Something you should do while you're here, which I'm actually going to do right now, is get the shrine here. Which, there it is. Happens to be in the direction we need to go. As you may have noticed, they have lightning here, but it doesn't affect your weapons, so don't worry about using wood or metal gear. From where the shrine is, you can get to the next one. Once you activate the shrine, you can come down here and just go down into this hallway, which it will then lead into the area, which then you'll have to come back to the hallway, which y'all will see why in a little bit. This next one's probably the hardest one. They're just sort of getting it out of the way. Oh well, Zelda's in the library. And you can see what I meant by the hardest. Shooting the electric one on him will be able to electrocute him. Which the sages already got the rest of these. Try to use all the abilities I can just to defeat him. That one's probably one of his most powerful attacks. One way to blind them real easy is by using Dazzle Fruit on them. I'm just kind of collecting spoils and stuff inside of the pots now. An idea for this would be going up on the higher area. He will be able to throw bombs at you, so you have to be careful about that. But other than that, going on the high ground could be a good idea, and you could just shoot him until he's defeated. Alright. You could even use the basic bow and it'd still do a lot of damage. Well, if you use the lightning one, I'm mainly referring to. Not the one I was trying to activate. And as you can see, it still does a lot of damage. And perfect, the Hinox has been defeated. This one's probably the hardest room out of all of them. Now we get this one's horn and all his other gear. And if you didn't bring food items with you, I guess you sort of have a little bit now. I also got some gloom meals off camera and some other kinds. I just basically did a whole ton of grinding. Here, if y'all remember, was the secret King's Library. Oh, it's for the Royal Guard boots. I forgot, that's where you get them in this game. I actually have 2 parts of the Royal Guard armor set now. If I got the hat that came with it, I'd have the same effect from Breath of the Wild, where it takes little to no stamina doing certain things. Mainly swimming and climbing. Oh, now this dude goes. Using the lightning wand will be a really good advantage for this. Also the water one works. Basically anything that, any sort of elemental weapon like fire, water, so on and so forth. And got him. These two are, well, the last one was harder than this one, but what I like about these 2 locations is how they're right next to each other. However, now we gotta go across the castle. It's literally just running around and going to the different places. Well, now we can go into the cave over here. Which, yes, that's a ton of Horriblins. I'm just gonna run past them. They're not too threatening. I do, however, like to come here to farm the Horriblin horns. That's like the main reason I'll come back to this cave. Now we're gonna want to climb on here. The enemies here, you might be able to snipe off the Lizalfos. Here we go. If you shoot him in the head like that, he won't be able to react as fast. I'm not entirely sure how much damage they do, so just be prepared. You're going to want to get your ascend ready for this next part, because we're going to be ascending up here. As you can see, this is the next room. You can cheese this room by simply using ice fruit. As you can see, I'm making this look like a complete joke. Plus, you get all the drops from it. The Lizalfos Talons, if you add them to your arrows, it'll actually add increased damage. I'm actually pretty sure this is where you get the Royal Guard's cap, if I am correct. Yep. I have the whole Royal Guard's armor set. It doesn't tell you the effect it does, but if y'all can look at my stamina when I jump, it's only taking so much. However, if I remove, let's say, the hat, it's going to take more. Basically, it reduces the stamina for that. It's like your best armor set for swimming. However, it can be upgraded. In Breath of the Wild, I'm used to it not being able to be upgraded. However, in Tears of the Kingdom, they made it so you can upgrade it again. When you upgrade armor, it allows it to have more defense, which you can take more hits from enemies. Here we're just sort of flying down, which I believe it's into this hallway after the 2 enemies up there, if y'all remember the one I had shot. Then you just come down here and into this hallway. This one's probably one of the harder rooms, although it's not too hard. If I'm correct, yeah, behind us they put a silver moblin. Oh! Some news, I got a game over right now. I forgot to mention this, because I thought basically when this room spawns, they put a silver moblin behind the player, but in front of the player they put ice keys. How I died right now is I got frozen by one of the ice keys, and then the moblin finished me off. I need to be careful about that. I'm just kind of looking at my armor and gear. I think I have an idea on how to take more resistance. Let me look around in my inventory. These will make tough fried wild greens. It's these purple flowers I'm using. When you eat this meal, you'll have defense, which makes you take less damage. So, yeah. See, those are the pesky geese that killed me last time. Alright, now it's just us and the big moblin. You know, if you knock the moblin down there, you will have to go down there and fight him yourself, which is very, very annoying. If you wanted to, you could just stand back and let the champions fight him. Trying to be super careful because now that I know he can one-shot me. I blocked his attack with my shield. Having to switch my weapon here. And I'm going to keep on shooting him. The horn he drops is really powerful, so it's a good thing to save onto. I think throughout this playthrough, this is the second game over I've gotten, just because I underestimated the enemies. Here we go. Silver Moblin Horn, adding a whole 33 damage to it. The Moblin Fangs do the same thing as the Lizalfos Talons, where they increase arrow damage a lot. Here you'll want to ascend. Now we're going to be passing up this enemy right here. Don't worry about him. Alright, here, I'm actually just looking at my map. When you get to this fire lake, in between the fire and ice lake, you'll want to go down this staircase. Which that'll take you into the hallway. Which here we have more of a unique one. We're fighting shock likes. I don't think I have any shock resistant gear. So this will be interesting. Shooting Yunobo the Goron at him can work. You'll want to kind of deal with them in order. A good thing to have would be a wooden shield, which I do happen to have, so that way it can actually block the lightning. And now finish him. The shock likes have more HP than the other kinds do, so it's important to keep that in mind. Which each one of these will drop a chest in the lake stone. We're just waiting for this one to open his mouth. It'll happen every time after they finish doing their projectiles. And I'll just try finishing this one quickly. Also, every time they hit you, they'll drop your weapons because they have electricity. Ooh, a giant boomerang. That one was really powerful in Breath of the Wild, although now it only does 11 damage. This is sort of the part in the game where the player starts gaining all the end-game gear, such as this royal bow. However, this is not the final boss area. Got him. Here we go. Another weapon broken, but we were able to defeat the likes, which now we have an ominous message telling, well, Zelda telling Link to go to the main area. It's where you fought Calamity Ganon in Breath of the Wild. As y'all know, I prepared a bunch of weapons and stuff off camera. However, now you might want to do more preparing just to be safe. Although now we're going to be heading to the top. Once you ascend, you'll appear right here, which I just picked up the sword. But now there's this Bokoblin here. I'll just deal with him. Oh, there's actually a secondary one. I could actually drop one of my weaker shields for this shield. Oops, wrong thing. Here we go, this is the one I wanted. Oh, that works too. The Bokoblins can't swim. This is a good example of that. This boss fight that's going to be coming up, because there is going to be a boss fight at the end of this, which is actually going to be in there. I think the game autosaves for you. Although just to be safe, I'm going to save. Here you'll want to get all your best gear equipped. This Royal Broadsword, I'm gonna... What's my best? Here we go. Silver Moblin Horn. Y'all remember this from earlier. Now we have a nice 43 damage weapon. I'll use this for the main fight. There's a way to cheese the fight, which it's going to involve ores. Let me see if I have them. Yeah, I have a few. I'd saved them for this video in specific. The ores, when you shoot them, have a huge explosion, so I'm going to be utilizing that. The disadvantage to ores is that when you shoot them, it has a really good tendency to be able to hit the player. So basically, there's a lot of high risk and high reward for doing so. So just be prepared. Anyways, I'm going in. Oh wow, we had no idea it was Phantom Ganon. Anyways, here we're gonna have to be super careful. Another thing you could do is use Geese Eyeballs. In my opinion, this fight isn't too hard. But I mean, if you have the sages equipped, basically he's gonna be, each one of those is gonna be attacking one of the sages. Just be careful and don't get in the crossfire. They are gonna drop a ton of these gloom swords. These, I personally don't recommend them if you're like not that good at combat, and a bunch of these bows. The bows will increase their damage depending on how many heart containers you have. So like if I had the maximum amount of hearts, it would do like 60 attack damage. However, for the weapons, it does 41 damage without an attachment. However, every time you attack with it, it takes away a heart container. Once you stop attacking, they'll restore themselves naturally. It's mainly just a weapon for like pro players. Because if you overuse it, you'll die for sure. Ooh. The Moblin was harder than that. Like, the Moblin did more damage. Once you defeat these 5, they're going to respawn them. So it's kind of like the whole thing of the fight. I'm going to get rid of this one just because I've had it for a while. These bows, however, won't drain your HP when you use them, so you can get as many of these as you want. That spin attack's the one that always gets me. They'll spin once, but it has 2 openings for them to hit you, so that's what makes it real hard. I'm trying to figure out which one was attacking me, because they all seem to be busy. Okay, it's this one. If you're running away, or like trying to run away, they'll just come at you like that. I'm actually pretty sure there's invisible walls that prevent you from exiting this fight, so be careful of that. I'm gonna grab his bow. Even though these ones I have do more damage, the better I get, like the more heart containers I get, the stronger it'll become. That's what you want to keep in mind. I'm actually doing pretty well for this boss fight. And I'm gonna drop this one. One of the reasons why I say to upgrade your shields is if you don't have room for something, which I'm just gonna do this for example, you can fuse the weapons to it, and then you can take it to the break apart shop at a later time in the game, and then get it removed, and you'll have your bow back. So you can basically see why I'm doing this. You can even do that with the weapons to kind of double up on space. Although it is a little hard to do sometimes. I'm going to toss this at him. Now he's going to corrupt the battlefield unless you shoot him in the... Well, just shoot him in general. This, the programming, I know a little bit about it behind it. Basically, they do that when they start shooting out gloom everywhere. They do it when they can't find the player. Basically, what Nintendo did in the programming here was they made it so that way he couldn't see the player, so that way he'll just start trying to do that. You can actually find these enemies throughout the world and you can fight them. However, if you do end up running away, they'll do the same thing. It's actually a little creepy. Gotta be careful. They'll actually switch their weapons, which now they have gloom clubs. Watch out, because they'll do big jumps like that. Which I just killed one of them. This one does even more damage. This is the strongest out of all of them. Sometimes through the fight, they'll redo this again. But also on other times during the fight, they'll regroup and change their weapon. So you have to be very mindful about that. I'm actually pretty sure this club did less damage than the sword did. Actually a little surprised. I'm gonna drop something for this. I really only recommend picking up the gloom weapons if you're really good at the game. But otherwise it might be a bad idea. If you let that one continue to spread gloom, it'll just get worse and worse for the player until the entire battlefield you can't not to take damage. That's why it's very important to defeat those. We're actually doing pretty well for this boss fight. Well, that's what overconfidence does to you. It's a good lesson to know. Now they're going to swap their weapons to spears. The final boss is going to be like this, except there's only one of him. However, don't underestimate it, because basically all his attacks get upgraded. Let's see here. I'll use this one, why not? I got a spear. Like, this is truly a time you should take advantage of to get all the powerful weapons you want. Uh-oh, this is what I meant by, be careful with that. However, I remember him, yeah, he has like 2 more weapons over here. And he dropped something for all his gear. Alright, let's load this one down, so now I'm going to finish him off. Another one has been defeated. You can increase the damage by adding these together, however, I don't fully recommend it. Unless you're, of course, taking it to Tarrytown after this to work on your inventory. Alright, now let's finish him off. Although this weapon isn't too strong. Now let's finish him off. Alright, now, as usual, after you beat a boss fight, you get a heart container. And of course, I'm going to pick up his last spear, which I think I'll drop this one for. Which now I have tons of overpowered weapons. They're probably, the worst time to use them is in the depths, in the caves of this game. Because as you know, there's a gloom effect where the enemies do gloom attack damage. But other than that, it's a pretty good weapon. Which, now, there's actually something secret you can get in this room. You have to come up here. I think a good amount of players might already know about this, but I never knew about it when I first played. Lighting 1 and lighting 2. Now you can go into here and get a free treasure. I don't think that's how treasure works, but okay. I'm just kidding. The Champion's Leathers. Basically the tunic Link uses on the cover of the game, which this one actually has more defense than the Royal Guard uniform. Although realizing it now, I literally have the complete set of the main armor set Link uses. I'm gonna go teleport to somewhere where there's an enemy to demonstrate how this works really quick. You can typically find enemies on the Great Sky Island, although I teleported to the wrong place. That's fine, I'll still be able to go where I'm going. This rule I'm about to show you all applies for the Gloom sword, spear, and club. In advance, it's better to know the actual damage. The Gloom Spear, even though it says it does 40, probably only does like, maybe like 35 or 30, just because spears do less damage than what it says. Big swords, however, like this one, probably do like maybe 5 or 10 additional damage. It's like maybe 55 or 60. Gloom swords and the regular ones are pretty much the same. This is where we first started the game. You'll want to pay close attention to my heart containers when I attack an enemy with this, and y'all will see why. If you'll notice that light over there, you can go there anytime you want to, but you have to have the Zora armor equipped. You'll need it for that quest. Okay, here we go. We have an enemy over here. So I can show you all this. And I'm actually going to show you all something from a scrapped video. I thought I was going to do it. Oh wait, I need to disequip all the sages, otherwise they're going to ruin the whole operation. No? Okay, that was a close one. So this one's a soldier construct, which the steward constructs, like this one for example, actually get scared. Even though they're the same kind of person technically. I think this just might be due to him attacking me and him just ducking for cover, so he doesn't get in the crossfire. But what I wanted to show you all about the damage is that as you saw, a heart container went away. However, a few seconds later, it'll come back. That's basically how these work. You'll lose a heart, like if you're doing a flurry rush or something, you'll lose maybe like 3 or 4 heart containers. So you have to be really careful when you're attacking. Other than that, it's a really good weapon. I was gonna do a video on like basically doing like 5 Easter eggs, like doing another 5 more Easter eggs, which they're all gonna be based off of these constructs or something like them. But then I decided not to do that video, so that's just something I wanted to show y'all. We're at the place we come back to every adventure. If there are cutscenes, I'm just gonna skip it. Oh, if you're wondering what everyone else is doing here, y'all probably already saw the cutscene already, but the champions had ended up saving the player. So yeah, now they're all here. I'm just gonna skip all the cutscene stuff. Now they just give the player a new quest, find the 5th sage. However, basically, they just tell the player to find it. They don't give any specific location, any hints, nothing like that. What we're gonna do in the next episode is, first things first, you're gonna do their side quest, which after you do their quest and unlock the camera rune, you're going to be going to Kakariko Village. You'll talk to the leader of the Zonai survey team, and then he'll at some point take you over here. Although you have to do his quest first. Once you're here, he'll like show you an armor set. Well, like, he'll take you into this ruins, or the player will get a special armor set, and then the player will have to find the other pieces of the armor set around this area. I'm just kind of giving y'all an idea in advance of what we'll be doing. Although for off-camera preparation, I'd say if you did end up getting the Gloom weapons, try to fuse some powerful stuff to it, and also doing their quest. However, where you're going with that quest is into the depths, so these weapons won't be recommended for that. But I do have one of these extra ones. Well anyways, that's going to finish up this video, so please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Goodbye.